Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to book diary number 3. If you're new here, then this is basically a video diary of my progress trying to write my first novel. So as always, I'll give you a kind of a bit of an update for how the process is going. In terms of word count, I just passed 47,000, so nearly at the 50,000 words written, which is exciting because, one, it's just a big landmark, and it also means the book's going to be longer than I expected. Going into it, I was thinking it would probably end up around the 60,000 mark. I can now see that it's going to go a little bit longer than that. I reckon it's going to end up at around 80,000, but yeah, I'm not kind of... I don't have like a goal or like a limit. I'm just kind of continually writing. And then, when the story's done, the story is going to be done. The other big development is I am now back at college. I am doing an evening course at college doing creative writing. And so I've literally just started that. I'll probably maybe a little bit later on do... No! Stop it! Ori just... No! The reason the audio's just gone weird is because Ori just walked across my laptop and just tapped the space bar and stopped it recording. And if I kept being really distracted, that's because Ori was just walking across in front of me. And Alex has joined me now. It's all what's all going on with the animals. Oh, she's too short. Wait for it. There she is! Right, let me go and start recording the audio properly again. Okay, welcome back. I decided to join Alex. Ori is now climbing along the ceiling, basically, at the moment in the background. Ori's my cat, by the way, if you didn't know who Ori was. So yeah, I'm doing college. I've only been once. I got homework that I need to do. It's really weird going back to college. But yeah, probably in a few weeks or so, or maybe a few months, then I'll kind of talk about whether college has helped me, what part of it has helped me, what hasn't helped me, how has that changed the way I've been writing. I'll probably do a whole book diary about that, but yeah, thought I'd let you know. But the thing that I wanted to talk about today is kind of like, what if there was a big deviation that happened in my book from what I planned to happen, compared to what actually happened. So I always start off with, I have my plan for my 4 books. I know kind of what characters are going to be in what areas and what they're going to do. And then kind of as I'm writing it, then I go into finer detail, and things always change a little bit, but generally they're relatively small changes. But there was a bit that I was writing where one of the characters decided just to leave. Basically, and it's going to sound so pretentious and so oh yes, I'm a writer, and the book basically writes itself, but I'm just the facilitator. And honestly, I'm not trying to be like that, but there was a scenario, something happened, and one of the character, they had pretty good motivation. They decided that they wanted to leave. They had to go off and do something, and that wasn't something that I planned for. And I kind of had to just react to that. And I've spent the last few weeks trying to, in the last few chapters, kind of tie things together and try and get things back on track to where the story eventually needs to go. But I honestly did not expect this character to do what the character did, and now they have gone off somewhere by themselves, and I've just been able to manage to loop things around, and that wasn't something that I expected to have happen. I was literally writing it, and it just seemed to make sense. That seemed to be what the character would do. It then informed a flashback about that character's past, which I kind of half planned to do anyway, but then I was able to kind of flesh out the reason why they decided to do what they did, and that was a really cool thing. I kind of do understand when people do say things like, oh yeah, the book just, wrote itself and the characters did what they wanted to do. And so that was a really interesting thing, because the way I do most things, and you'll know it if you've watched my behind the scenes videos for designing mini games and stuff, is if I have to work on anything, I just want to start working immediately and then improve it. I don't care if it's rubbish to begin with. I'd rather just start something and it be rubbish and then I gradually improve it, rather than spending ages kind of designing it exactly how it's meant to be and then start doing it. That's not the way I work. Say if I'm building something in Minecraft, I'll just build something really rough and rubbish, and then I'll, improve it, rather than working out all of the dimensions and stuff exactly the way it was. And for the book, I thought I was kind of having things pretty planned, but I've realized now that things have kind of got a little bit more out of my control than I expected. And, I've just added more information to the world. As I've been kind of writing the book, I've started developing, side characters' backstories more, and kind of planning the history of the world that the characters are in. I've kind of spent more time planning that, and that has then gone back and affected the stories. And then I also just know the characters better now. You know, there's been a time where I wrote that this character was going to say this whole big speech about the history of the world, and then I realized that, oh, wait a minute, that's not the kind of thing they would do. Like that's just not like the type of character they are. And I didn't really realize that when writing the overall story. I was kind of just writing what was convenient to keep the story flowing forward. And then there was like other situations where I writ like, you know, they were going to go and swim to the bottom of the ocean, and then they were going to climb to the tallest mountain, and then they were going to do all of these crazy things. None of the ones that I mentioned, but all of these like really crazy physical, you know, things. And then I didn't plan them to have a break. And I realized that they did something really physically intense. And then I realized like, wait a minute, they can't go and straight do this other thing. They need to have a rest for a bit. And, you know, I didn't plan when planning the story that they have a rest here, but I kind of needed to, because otherwise it wouldn't logically make sense. So it's kind of cool seeing that, you know, I do have my overarching plan and I am kind of sticking to the big points, but then there's a whole bunch of other things that you really, you know, it'd be very difficult for you to think about it until you actually begin writing it. So yeah, once again, sorry for being really weird and vague and not going too specific with anything, but yeah, I don't want to reveal too much at this point. And you know, it's always fun kind of going in not knowing what you're going in for when you read a book anyway. So yeah, that was my little update for this book diary. There'll be one coming up at some point in the future, so if you want to kind of find out more about what I'm going through, stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!